Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I am Ed Rieger, your host. I hope you found the last episode informational and helpful. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Tonight we're going to cover finances and the questions you may want to ask your potential romantic partners. Many reports state that finances are a major reason for divorce. And many couples don't even discuss finances while they're dating. It is one of the taboo subjects. Communicating about finances while dating, especially if the relationship is becoming serious, could be critical for your long-term connections. Some of the psychological red flags you may want to watch for in romantic partners are frivolous spending on items that may enhance their image or prestige in the community, like designer clothing, tennis shoes from superstar athletes, handbags, jackets, and other miscellaneous clothing items. Who are they trying to impress, especially if they do not have the kind of employment income that would warrant these kind of expenses? Automobiles that come with a hefty price tag. They either pay cash for them or their car payment is massive. Homes that are way beyond their means. Any kind of expenditure that could be overboard compared to their income or family estate values, such as vacations, restaurant spending, sporting events. You need to know how severe their spending habits are. Are they mild, severe, or extremely severe? This can tell you a lot of the kind of chaos you will be facing while dating them or planning to marry. Today, many couples report that they even keep separate bank accounts until they've been married for quite a while. That's kind of an interesting situation that has come up in current dating and marriage. Want to go through a few more statistics to show how big this problem is for individual Americans and for our state and federal government when it comes to spending beyond what we can afford. Finances are concrete evidence of induced psychosis. In families, in romantic relationships, our personal financial activities, and as a nation and for political leadership. Because finances can and will destroy your relationship you're trying to create with your romantic partner and may put you in a negative financial position that you never imagined yourself in, I think having a little financial context is important while dating and planning to marry. It's estimated that in 2025, Americans hold about $1 trillion in credit card debt. The United States holds $37 trillion in debt. Yeah, that's trillion, not billion. They've blown way past billions. In different age groups, you'll see different levels of debt that are being held by folks. Gen Zers hold about $9,500 in debt. Millennials, about $78,000. Gen X's, $135,000, baby boomers, $96,000, and 75 and up hold about $40,000. According to a report from CNBC and Megan DiMatteo, reports estimate that American corporations hold over $8 trillion in debt. They think states in the United States have about $1 trillion in debt. In 2025, the bankruptcy total is over 500,000 corporations and individuals. And they're estimating that that's about 14% higher than 2024. So the problem's not shrinking, it's increasing. Now, the number one cause for all bankruptcy for individuals is medical expenses. And we can absolutely guarantee this will increase in the coming years with the Medicaid cuts voted on by politicians in 2025. According to the Federal Reserve, the average American has an average of $8,000 in checking and savings. American saving rate is down for 2025. Americans over 65 have average savings of $13,000. Think about that for a second. Most seniors have been working 30 or 40 years by the time they retire, and the average senior has a little over $13,000 in savings. That's not very good. This is why medical is number one for bankruptcy. The average citizen does not have enough savings to cover just one major medical event. I spent the early years of my life with no medical insurance at all. I've had family members that have gone medically bankrupt. Now, with the average minimum wage in the U.S. at $7.25 an hour and being locked in at that rate since 2009, that's 16 years at that rate. Has inflation increased? Have tariffs gone up, which is another tax on citizens directly? And they've gone from an average of 1.5 to 15 to 50%. Did minimum wage go up from 15 to 50%? I don't think so. Did your boss add an additional 15 to 15%, 50% to your paycheck this week? Especially without you asking for it? I doubt it. When you combine the psychological issues with the low wage reality in America, we can see why the average family has less than $10,000 in savings, and the average senior has just over $13,000 in savings. Many families just do not educate their children properly when it comes to finances. This leads to lack of knowledge and the possibility of making mistakes with your finances as a young adult and throughout your lifetime. This is one of those areas when you think about educating your children that is so critical to their well-being psychologically and financially that not educating your children is almost a abuse by neglect. And puts them in a really, really terrible situation throughout their lives. And these mistakes they make can lead to major financial stress. But more important than that, it is time wasting and can lead to years of trying to recover from these mistakes. Finances can be a big indicator of paranoia in the family, from parents, siblings, and grandparents. As we go through these questions and you're engaging your potential romantic partner, you may get quite a bit of pushback, especially if you ask these kind of questions too soon in the relationship. That's why it's important for you to become the psychological sleuth here, to determine if their work and knowledgeable income is jiving with how they spend money when you're with them. Okay. Let's go through the questions. Do you have any debt? How much debt do you carry? This can be a real negative depending on their income, and can be a little embarrassing to them if it's more than what's normal or what they think may be normal to you. How many credit cards do you have? If they have multiple cards, this is definitely a red flag. What are their limits? You don't want to hear a large limit, especially if their income and lifestyles don't warrant it. Are they maxed out? Have you ever been to a check cashing location? I've been to a check cashing location. How many times? If it's more than 5, this may be an issue. Have you ever declared bankruptcy? This is a major red flag. Now, some people may go bankrupt but never file. They just go completely broke and mostly wind up homeless or in extreme poverty. Now, that's what happened to me when I went bankrupt. Just went homeless. How many times have you gone bankrupt? If it's more than once, you may be looking at a major chaos chaser. What was the total dollar amount that you claimed on your bankruptcy? And you want to follow that up with, why did you file for bankruptcy? The dollar amount and the reason may tell you that they had major credit card debt and extreme spending habits. Excuse me. Here's a big one. And if you ask teenagers this question, they have no clue. And most young people never do either. And most people don't know how to manage it or stabilize it. What is your FICO score? A really low FICO score can tell you a lot about their activities and payment histories. Do you own any life insurance policies? The majority of families I help in my financial practice, in my day job, have no life insurance, or they are underinsured based on their debt or number of children they have. Do you carry disability insurance on yourself? When I asked this question in my assessment interview with folks, the majority of families have no disability insurance at all. This will tell you that they have an avoidant issue in them facing the reality that unforeseen things can happen to them, and they're not they're not planning out well for themselves and or their families. Are you renting or buying? If they have a good paying job that they've had for a while, what is stopping them from buying a home? Do you have any retirement funds set aside for things like 401ks or IRAs? What percentage of your check do you defer from your payroll? Like 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%? What's normal? The majority of employees that I help in creating 401k accounts will not save one penny in these accounts. The participation rate is extremely low in corporations that I assist. This will show you the self-defeating side of their personality and their lack of long-term planning. Do you have any health insurance for yourself? 8.2% of Americans don't have any health insurance, and 26% of them believe they do not need it. This is real avoidant behavior of reality. In my early adult years, I was one of them. I didn't carry insurance on myself for years and years. If you have children, do you have health insurance on them? That's a good question. Do you save money for your child's higher education, like college? The majority of families I help with finances do not save a penny for their children. Do you have 6 months or 1 year of savings to replace your income if something like losing your job would occur? The average income American is about $66,000. Since most Americans have less than $8,000 in savings, that answer would be no. Why not? Here's a big question that I always ask everybody. Do you have a will or trust? This will show you their long-term financial planning ability. The majority of families that I assist do not have one, even if they're older. And if you don't have a will and trust, especially if you have children, then why not? Do you know if your parents have a will or trust? This is where families don't trust each other to have these kinds of conversations. So they will probably say no because they just don't know. If they have passed, your parents have passed, did they have a will and trust? If your grandparents have passed, do you know if they had a will or trust? Remember, all of this is generational, and because of the paranoia of families, they will not discuss their wills and trusts with each other, even if they have them. They will not divulge the information inside those trusts for each other. It kind of becomes a surprise when somebody passes away. If grandparents or parents have passed away, did they leave any financial resources for you and your siblings? My father abandoned me at birth, so I never received a penny from his estate. And my mother was completely broke when she passed away, and she was uninsured and completely financially destitute. So there was no inheritance whatsoever. Did they leave any life insurance for you or your siblings? Finances is one area of the romantic partner's behaviors and history that can speak volumes about their past, current, and future behaviors that you definitely need to be aware of as you're dating, and especially if you're getting serious and planning on a long-term relationship. This can cause major stress in your relationship in the future. So it's something that you need to get comfortable with communicating with your partners about. Okay, let's go ahead and stop here. I want to thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope this information was helpful to you as we progress through our psychological paradigm shift. Remember, you can go to the website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. I will post updates when I have them, and you can sign up to receive future information. I look forward to next week's episode, which will be talking about sexual history. So take care of yourselves.